automotive content on Team VVV, sponsored by Bull Group. Hello viewers, and welcome to a bit more F1 2014 action. The game is released today. I'm sure many of you are playing it. And of course here we see another run from me, this time racing in the Ferrari of Fernando Alonso around the streets of Monaco as we jostle our way into turn one. Slight knock there on the rear wheel, but we're okay up the hill, sorting ourselves out and diving into the first lap. I hope you've enjoyed all of the no comment runs I've been putting up recently. I put up the no comment runs because sometimes I just like the game to be self-explanatory. You can see the game, you can hear the game. There's no opinion getting in the way of it. It's just opinion that you're forming by seeing the action yourself. And obviously for us, you can see our opinion on the review, or at least Tim's whacked it all together on the PS3 version. He's written his review, which is on the Team VVV website, and there's a link to the review in the description below as we race down the tunnel past the yacht club on the exit, braking for the chicane, nice and comfortable. Now the handling this year, I see people saying it's the same as last year. It's nothing like last year. Completely different handling, completely different gearing. There are elements. I saw somebody complaining about the clouds look like they did last year. You know, there really has been a lot of people getting carried away that it's not an entirely new game. Doesn't really need to be, not always. I happen to think this is one of the best F1 games released in years. It all works really well so far in our testing. I've had some fantastic racing. The AI has been really tough. I mean, look at this race. I'm not hanging around here, but the AI is really going for it. And if you're going to win, you're going to really need to maximize your lap times every lap. And of course, it's a lot more challenging now in terms of the new physics that have been implemented. That's not to say they're perfect. There's always a work in progress, but there's certainly development been made. And I think it shows that after a few years of Codemasters F1, they've put together a really solid title. I've come a long way from the early F1 games. I'll show those in another video when I talk about it, as we go round down into the tunnel. Through the tunnel, of course. Let's hope on the new versions, though, they do away with this silly banking that doesn't really exist. We don't need that. But either way, looks fantastic, and I look forward to seeing what Codemasters can put together next year. You know, improved visuals, again, further refinements on the physics and handling, how it's all going to work. Perhaps return the classic cars I'm expecting. Along with, I would finally like to see perfect TV replays. So there's lots of little features in the game that we'd like to see improved and put back in, and certainly Codemasters have got all the ideas and the resource to do that now, one would expect. So far they've done I think a pretty solid job, and I've really enjoyed this. And you can see visually, you know, this is using the old technology, but there's so much detail there. It runs at 60 frames on the PC, everything maxed, really well optimized. And whatever anyone says, the main thing is, are you enjoying the game? Yes, I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed it a great deal, and I'll play it a great deal as I move on after this to my extended races. So you will see some longer races, and I'll commentate those as well. So you can hear me droning on to you for an amount of time, however long, depending on the race. Now, obviously, we've got Circuit of the Americas coming up, COTA. I can't stand driving that course. I dislike it with a passion. For me, it's just a very disjointed course with no flow. Sochi last week, I thought had a wonderful flow as a course. It was really enjoyable to drive. It didn't make for the most magical racing, but thoughts are still with Jules Bianchi and his family, and I felt that everybody just wanted the event to go smoothly rather than taking any unnecessary risks. Overall, the event was a relatively straightforward one as we move on to the final few races of the F1 season. And thankfully, Codemasters have managed to get the game out just in time for those last few races. It's tough meeting expectations when people don't always realise the logistical difficulties in getting this title together. As you see me losing the back end there. Tyres wear for me. Now, I was talking to one of the developers about this, and I was saying, well, I've been noticing significant tyre deg on my runs just on these 5-lap runs, as if it's somehow scaled to it. It's not supposed to be, not supposed to see this level of deg, but I am noticing it. And you'll actually notice it in just a moment. I think we go down to the tunnel. I come out the tunnel past the swimming pool, and you actually hear the tyres go around into the tunnel. So I'm already feeling like there's a big loss of grip now for me. I find first lap you've got to get a bit of temperature in the tyres. Second, third lap, tyres are perfect. Halfway through the fourth, the tyres are falling off for me. In the fifth, it's quite a struggle. So you see the car already sliding there when we hit the curbing. See another example on the braking after the swimming pool. I'm going to go quiet for a moment so we can hear those tyres. Whoa, full on sideways drift of the car there. And that's where I feel I'm turning in, the tyres just aren't gripping for me. The car's actually sliding everywhere, so it's really tricky from now on. And the concept of overtaking the cars in front has gone now, and now it's all about keeping it on the straight and narrow and just completing the run for the video, which is very challenging. At the same time, I can't help myself. I'm trying to keep that Alonso mentality of never giving up. Of course, it's a shame Fernando's leaving Ferrari without that championship win. He so deserved, frankly. He's been, for me, the best driver on the grid these last few years in terms of the most complete, but never really had the equipment to maximise his potential. It's been close, but not quite. And where's he going to end up next year? Nobody knows. It's all fun and games at the moment with McLaren. Will he go to McLaren? Will Jensen still be there? Who knows? I think it'd be good for McLaren to have an experienced lineup of Alonso and Jensen, because they both have a lot of experience in setting up a car, and a new car with new engine. You know, it'd be interesting to see them as a pairing. They both have a lot of respect for each other, both world champions, but nevertheless it's not going to work out that way by the sound of it as we come to the end of this run. I hope you've enjoyed these F1 videos I've put out on the channel. I'll keep making them, and I hope you keep enjoying them. And keep sending in requests. I do read those. It takes time to make these videos. But that's it from me for now. This F1 2014 video, and there'll be more from me very soon. Automotive content on Team VVV, sponsored by Bull Group.